Alrighty, so you've already seen this guy here, okay? And now I have another canvas here, and I got some paints here. We're gonna do it. I already put a couple marks on this one with the white paint because I had to mix the paint because it was all separated, so we had to do that. So here we go. So I'm gonna take this brush and kind of use it to dribble up from here onto here as well. I don't love this area, so I'll be fucking around with that. But now that's gotta dry. I do really dig these drips here and here, and this white is getting really thick, so that's gonna maybe do something interesting right here. And we got some drip right here. Like that's already dripping down. That's gonna look pretty cool. Yeah, that's interesting. We definitely have some stuff there to play with. So I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. And then I think I'm gonna get some markers out and play with that. But this down here, this is already starting to look kind of cool. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but there's definitely stuff to play with there. Anyway, I'm waiting for this to dry because I have a lot of cool ideas for it. So let's take a look at it. So wait. That's it right now. That's the one down there. This one down here, I'm not even thinking about. This is going to be something later. And so right now, like, there's no reason to think about it. This guy here, though, let me see if I could get in here and show you some stuff. So these drips here are coming in really cool, and I'm really excited to see what happens when they hit here. The white has some chunky drips, and I think it's going to follow this line down, but it might cross. I know this sounds really nerdy and weird, but this right here, I can't even see through my hair. Okay, so this right here, this came in kind of cool. And the texture underneath from the plum dried really thick. So that left a really cool mark. These drips are cool. These drips down here are cool. This one up here just started to drip through that. That just happened since we've been sitting here. And then this one down here, but there's a big chunky bit from the plum. So that's not going to really go much farther, even though it's kind of zigzagging around right there. But yeah, there's all sorts of interesting stuff that has a lot of depth. Like this right here has tons of depth because it's like this color, but then this color is coming over it. So there's all sorts of stuff happening. I'm really going back and forth as to what to do with it, because there are some parts that I'm not thrilled about. The gray at the bottom I do like, but it's almost too much. The white right here, it's kind of messy. I don't know if I like it very much. So what I was thinking about doing, and this is like a color theory thing. I don't know how legit this is because I am not an educated man, but it's kind of what I think. The plum I made, okay, that was mainly red with a little bit of black, a little bit of blue, a smaller bit of yellow, and a smaller bit of white. Now, because of that, I'm pretty sure in how color theory works that because I used yellow and blue in the plum, I could actually use yellow and blue in this painting and have it be complementary, especially if I add a little bit of white or black or red even to the blue or the yellow. And I mean a small amount, because if you use too much red, you're going to get orange or you're going to get purple. But maybe if I take some yellow and add some white to it, I could maybe take that yellow or that white bit out right there and just put a big slosh of that really pale yellow. And that might look kind of cool. Because it is very dark. So because this white here, and the white here are competing for your attention. And if I wanted any of the white to win on the attention, it would be this part here. Although that streak across, I think, is the star of the show. And I do really like that plum cross right there. I almost think I'm drawing too much attention to it with not painting over it. So I might have to do something about that. Maybe that's where I'll use the markers and do more like mark and crayon and shit. Oh, do I have a yellow crayon? Yeah, but it's really yellow. It's like neon. I don't know if that'll work. But maybe I'll just do like a splotch of the yellow across there, and maybe I'll do a paler yellow with some white, I think. Do it on there and then lay a paper towel on it and pull it off. And then that way it'll kind of be way more muted. And that'll mute that whole area. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to take out that bottom white as well. It might be. So we'll see. And in about a week or two, this will be available on my store. So when it is available on my store, mattwallart.com, I'll leave it in the comments down below. A bunch of these are already up there, although this one here, that's not mine. That beautiful one is not done by me. That was done by somebody else. And we'll talk about that at a later date. I'm really interested in this, but I do want it to dry a little bit. I want to see what those drips do. So this drip here, it's already going through that line. So that's kind of cool. I wasn't sure if it was going to go across or like kind of lean over. But yeah, so this is painting, and this is how I come up with other things to paint, and this is kind of process on how I'm doing the next bit. So yeah, so we don't want things to overcompete for one another. If you have a lot of similar shapes, like I do have a lot of similar shapes because for the majority, I was using the same brush. So this brush here and the white brush were the same brush. That's why they're the same width. The black, I was using a thinner brush. So you could see right here compared to the white, it's a thinner streak, which makes it a different size shape. Now, when I turn this camera to it, you're going to focus on the white before you focus on anything else because that's the brightest color on the thing. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Your eye's drawn to that white part. So because of that, I don't want this and this to be competing with where your attention goes. And then the push and pull of colors, it's going to make it kind of weird because typically how colors work on the canvas is that the darker colors seem farther back and the lighter colors seem closer. But because I went back and forth, like black on top of white, on top of black, on top of white, all that shit, that might be a little confusing. So I'm going to have to stick with, I guess, shape more than color. Yeah, I'm going to have to stick with shape more than color, I think. But yeah, this white is the same width as the plum. So I don't like that. I'm going to have to do something with that. So I'll probably thin that out a little bit. Hopefully using some marker will help me do that. I think I'm going to do the yellow down there. Maybe I'll do that whole bottom corner, a really pale yellow. I think that's too much. I think I'm not even going to cover that whole white bit. I think it's just going to be a small little square or something like that. Because that would be way too much. But I do dig that streak across it because it makes this white bit just like a weird little square. And I think that white bit there is the part that your eye gets drawn to. So yeah, so I'm just going to see how this dries because the paint is still running. And until it's done, like the painting could be something completely different. And then later, I'll mess with that. So I think whenever you mix your paints and you're planning on painting something, whatever colors you mix in with your primary paint, or even any color you have on the painting, whatever colors you use to get that color, you can use those like primary or secondary colors that you use in the mix in that painting. You see what I'm saying? So cheers, and I'll talk to you all later.